So welcome back to Quick Notes with Chris on. Today we're going to be talking about the book The Dream is Everything by Peter Cox. It's a really interesting book. It breaks it down very simply, some simple pages that you can actually activate and look towards introducing into your life in order to ensure that you're actually progressing closer and faster towards success, and a few principles that you can generally look towards applying literally tomorrow in order to make sure that you're getting there quicker. Within the title, that's essentially the number one theme of the book. The dream is everything, and I 100% agree with that. I think that goal-orientated dream thinking, starting with why, anything that's oriented toward figuring out what it is that you're looking towards doing before you even start is highly important whenever it comes to accessing and achieving any goal. So let's basically break that down. Well, the first thing that you need to do, the book talks about, is understanding exactly what it is that you're looking towards doing within your life. What's your long-term, short-term, medium-term goals? If you're currently working a job that you don't necessarily know exactly why you're doing it, we'll start to figure it out. And if it's not the reason why you're working there, look towards moving towards doing the thing that you truly want, what you want to do. Whether it's in business, whether it's in general success, whether it's starting a team, whether it's starting an organization, or generally just surrounding yourself with people that you truly do like and enjoy life with. No matter what, you want to look towards starting with the dream is everything. And there's so many reasons as to why that backs it up, and the book goes into so many different reasons further on, specifically through the different chapters that are in the book. But the fundamental thing that I can understand is that always look towards aiming higher than your original goal that you set. See, just like an arrow that is shot and is affected by gravity, so you always want to aim slightly higher above, and that's the same thing whenever it comes to goal setting. Whatever your goal is, no matter how big, no matter how large, always look towards making it a little bit bigger, just to ensure that when it does slightly fall down, you actually arrive always at where you're originally looking towards achieving, but strive for the original goal to make sure that no matter what, you're never going to be let down. And if anything, hopefully, you'll be a little bit surprised with your results. The next thing the book talks about is having a fire in your belly. Understanding that this dream needs to be something that legitimately charges you. It can't be just something that you can already achieve with your current situation and current lifestyle. It needs to be something that you actively look towards striving goal and basically pushes you towards being a better person, working harder, and all those different aspects that come to inspiring your character. Then you'll be able to inspire other people around you, and so on and so on and so on, as long as you can actively look towards having that fire within your belly. It's sort of like all great leaders, all great successful people, they had that massive goal, something that seemed out of their contention or out of their reach when they were originally first going for it. But what allowed them to get there was having that drive, having that determination, having that discipline and basically action behind it in order to make sure that the goal was more achievable than they originally thought. The next one is, of course, have some fun. So many times people get caught up in work and stuff like that, and they end up becoming a little bit cold-hearted or a little bit cut off towards people around them, when in reality you want to be the opposite. Nowadays, especially more than ever, being a cutthroat business person is not something that's going to aid in you becoming a successful person, specifically here in Australia. So the easiest way that I found, and the book found a way of getting around that, is specifically looking towards having some fun. I interpreted this as falling in love with the process. Understand that whatever result that you're looking towards, you're just choosing the path in order to get there. In fact, depending on what it is, there could be hundreds, if not thousands, of different paths in terms of work in order to achieve it. So making sure that whatever path that you do choose towards working, you don't necessarily get caught up in the ins and outs of it and only really feel motivated and unmotivated depending on the day, but instead fall in love with the work that you have to do, and then you'll actually not have to work a day in the life. If you look at any successful person, they recognize that they fall in love with the process. They can't be working every day dreading the thing that they need to do in order to achieve the result. And the way that you do that is by focusing on the result. What are you doing this for, and what's that action going to actually look towards achieving in your life, long term, whether it's your kids and so on. If you look, I utilize a lot of basketball quotes because I feel like it's really applicable. And in fact, in a lot of sports, leadership is definitely reflected and success traits are definitely seen on TV in front of you. But Kobe Bryant was said to work hardest out of any other person in the NBA. He'd be the first person at the gym, the last person to leave, whether it was 2 hours before the game and 2 hours after. He would be reflecting tape constantly. Basketball, something that was on his mind at least 18 hours a day. And that's exactly what he did. He fell in love with the process. Now, I understand that there was a bunch of different rules, a lot easier to do than most other sports or avenues towards success simply because of the recognition that he got. But how you do anything is how you do everything. If you looked at Elon Musk he was sleeping 4 hours a night at his office desk in order to make sure that he didn't lose any time commuting there and back from work. This is the person who didn't necessarily like the work, but I can guarantee you he fell in love with the process. He had fun with what it was that he was doing. He made the highs medium and didn't keep the lows lows. The next one is pay the price. If you look at any successful person or leader, you have to look towards sacrificing. I see so many people who belief that success comes and less sacrifices have to occur the further you go up, when in the reality it's the opposite. You have to give up if you want to go up. That's the truth. And the more leadership that you take on, the more responsibilities that you have, generally speaking, you're going to have to sacrifice the most. And that's okay. I understand that in some people's situations, if you're running a business and you don't want to put in more than 40 hours a week, you don't want to give up some time with your loved ones, and so on and so on and so on, that's understandable. And you definitely can do that, but understand that you're going to pay the price accordingly. You're probably going to have limited results based on the sacrifices and resources that you're not willing to give up. So understand that no matter what price there is, you're going to have to pay it at least once in order to make sure that you do achieve the goal that you're looking towards getting sooner rather than later. And I think that's the key, that a lot of goals, depending on what they are, can be achieved on a longer scale. But everybody, of course, wants to get there faster, and the key towards getting there faster is doubling the sacrifices that you're making. And that is what sort of the book talks about, and why it sort of prioritizes it at number 5, in my opinion. The next one is keep your integrity intake. Now, this is so applicable to so many different situations. Integrity is something that is essentially doing what you say, saying what you do, following through with what it is that you set out to do long before the mood with the decision is made is far gone. Too often than not, I see people who start up New Year's resolutions to start going to the gym, but they don't keep the integrity within themselves when they end up leaving by March or May. Well, there's a reason why they do that. Multiple things, because they don't feel the motivation and all these different aspects, and that's exactly why I think that integrity is so important. Integrity is essentially following through with the word and having accountability with yourself, other people, and making sure that whatever it is that you say that you're going to do, you follow through with. For example, if you do set a goal and you say it out loud and you mention it to other people, you have now set an accountability with everyone else that you've spoken with, and if you don't personally follow through with what you're setting out to achieve, or at the very least doing everything that you possibly can towards achieving it, you yourself are sacrificing your integrity, and that is a poor sign of a leader, and is definitely, if you can have it, a sign of success. The next one is discipline. This is a no-brainer. Coinciding with integrity, it basically talks about how motivation is always going to go. Why would you want a relationship with someone who's only happy or present when the initial decision is done or the success is there? Well, that's what motivation is. It's only present when you first start and when your success starts to roll in. So why would you rely on someone like that? That's exactly why I think you shouldn't rely on that emotion. Instead, utilize discipline taking over. Discipline is the only consistent thing that is in your life. And discipline means that whenever you don't feel like doing it is exactly when you have to do it. It's mindsets like that that basically create a winner's mindset, create a successful person. It's because they understand that they don't need to care about the work they're doing. Whether they love it, whether they hate it, whether they think it's okay, is regardless of the result that they're setting out to achieve. And that's a person of high levels of discipline. A man who is disciplined can achieve any goal, can achieve anything, and is a person that should be feared. So if you can look towards mastering discipline, you can master anything. The next one is faith. Every now and again, there's going to become times where it seems as if adversity is unsurmountable. There's no way that you're going to ever overcome it. And this is where you need a level of faith. Faith towards your goals, faith towards yourself. And I definitely think that the law of attraction is definitely applicable here. Whenever you're looking towards doing something, you want to speak it into existence. Have a level of faith within your mind of what it is that you're setting out to achieve. When you're focused on your goal, when you think about what it is that you're wanting to achieve every single day, your subconscious actively makes decisions and makes things a little bit easier, pushing you in circumstances by default, and then make sure that it creates this dream as a reality. For example, I think that if you think about cars a lot, and you have faith that you're going to get one, realistically, you're programming your subconscious mind in order to actively make decisions that bring you closer to that goal. So always have what it is that you're looking towards on the top of your mind, and have faith that it's going to follow through. The next one is the power of association, and I cannot agree more with this one. Anchoring your environment in order to achieve your goals is something that is a literal no-brainer whenever it comes to achieving them. If you're a person who's struggling with alcohol, or a person who's struggling with a level of addiction, the first thing that you do is get rid of that out of your environment. Well, it's the same thing with the positive in terms of success. If you want to become a millionaire, hang out with 4 millionaires, or at the very least people who have success-oriented mindsets, and you will be the 5th. If you're hanging out with 4 homeless people, then those people are going to rub off onto you, going to make you make decisions that are orientate you towards becoming homeless. And that's really what the power of association is. It's a non-negotiable. No matter what, you are the product of the average of the 5 people that you spend your time with. And no matter what, you're going to get investment on whoever you do invest this time with. Anyways, guys, that's it for the Quick Notes with Chris on The Power of Association by Peter Cox. I highly suggest you definitely read it. There are so many more in-depth avenues and in-depth teachings that you certainly certainly can learn from the book. It's only a short read, about 160 pages. So if you're new to sort of self-help or reading in general, I definitely think this is an easy read and a great place to start. But other than that one, guys, don't stop there. Keep looking at the other videos that we have on the channel when it comes to improvement, and keep looking towards putting yourself in a better position for success. I'll see you in the next one.